Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kobe Cheese here, and this is day number 2 at the Lone Star Clash. We just had a 2-0 match victory for CLG.eu against Team Curse, and I'm sitting here with Froggen and Krepo, and wanted to interview these guys. It's pretty good matches. So Froggen, you guys had like a really sick play early on with like this 3-man roam thing. Was this like planned from the beginning to do this roaming strategy with your Zyra?
We basically assumed they would lane swap 2v2, so we wanted to make it 2v2 top. We forced Skarner out of his jungle, so we saw the opportunity to steal his red buff. Then we wanted to collapse in the back of the 2v2 lane on top. But when we realized like Void was there alone, like I wasn't needed, Froggen went mid, and like Snoopy still had double buff mocking around, and Froggen called the collapse on Orianna mid, and yeah, we just forced her flash. I flashed after her, snared, and she was dead.
After that point, you really snowballed hard against Orianna. Do you think that probably would have gone that way anyways, even if you had not had the early game? Do you think that's pretty much the catalyst that puts you so far ahead that game?
Yeah, I would only pick Lee Sin if it's a counter pick to the opponent mid, and ADs does really well against Orianna mid, so that's basically why I'm picking it. Like, of course it's gonna snowball because like Orianna's lane was pushing when we killed her because she messed up at level 1 stuff, so she got set like 1 level behind already. So that basically snowballed from that. I was like, doubling CS, but it's normal.
So I guess I can agree with you on the AD doing really well against Orianna, and you know, I've heard you've been doing the Jarvan mid a lot as well, and I actually was trying that in a couple games, and I found I was like really successful against Orianna. Have you done a lot of Jarvan versus Orianna too?
Mostly started out with just picking Jarvan against Katarina because Jarvan is dumping Katarina's really hard. But then I wanted to try Jarvan versus Orianna too because I found out that Corki and Descend does really well. So I tried it out, and it's actually really good, surprisingly good.
Yeah. Cool deal. So I like that a lot. And then like later that game, you actually had a really sick play that pretty much like destroyed like 2 fights actually. Whenever I think it was Void Boy was about to teleport into a mid fight, and it felt like he would have won that fight based on the health bars, but you saw that and you were able to jump over the wall with a ward, kick him out of his teleport and kill him, and then they won that fight. So I mean, what was going through your head on that one or whatever?
Basically I saw Void Boy overextend in bottom lane, and I knew that he couldn't get back to his tower, so I could catch him if I shield to a ward Q. That was like my goal, was to catch him doing that, but then he started teleporting because we acted really slow on my ward jump, so he just started TP and I kicked him, and then he just died after because he got caught.
Pretty good deal. And then game number 2, you picked a Nunu, and I think this worked out really well. Was this your plan to like try and keep the Nunu away from Kog'Maw? Was that like the main reasoning behind that pick, or what was the strategy and the picks for game number 2?
Hold on, I have to think that. Yeah, definitely like robbing Nunu from a Kog'Maw lane is good. It would force them. We wanted to run like some other lineups as well, but we shifted like thought process a few times during the picks and bans. But yeah, I think the main reason was stealing Nunu from the Kog'Maw, as well as having like a tanky front line. We had like in the end we had an Aurelia in the front, a Nunu in the front, and then a Maokai. That opens up like a lot of possibility for your backline to be really well protected.
Definitely, and I was actually surprised. Usually Malphite does really well against the top lane, but I mean, you guys got you know, Wicked to have Aurelia, so that worked out really well, and your jungle was in there pretty much. I mean, every time Snoopy was all over the same place as St. Vicious, so he wasn't able to get ahead on that part. And then you actually did a really good job with your Zhonya's. You had a really early Zhonya's, and I remember there was a fight at the top lane, and you literally waited just until that ball came, and you dodged so many Orianna ultimates with your Zhonya's. So you did really well with the Morgana pick on that. So was that pick actually to kind of counter out the Skarner?
It was not to counter Skarner, it was more to counter Malphite. Like, as I saw my job as Morgana was basically get the black shield on Pete if he gets caught by Skarner, Malphite or Orianna ultimate, and I did that a couple of times. If it's not possible for me, I will flash in the fight and just use my ultimate to counter their hard engage so they get locked down. I think I hit 5 people a couple of times with my ultimate too.
Yeah, in fact, Now that you mention it, I believe that one of the later fights in game number 2, I remember you guys kind of caught Skarner. You were hiding around in the wolf camp, and then you caught Skarner, and they had sort of an okay engage there, but then you flashed in the back and literally split the entire team up and allowed Wicked to just go in there and clean everyone up. So what was going on in the team chat during that particular fight when you guys were at the Wolves and then the engage after?
Basically, we knew they had no vision around the wolf camp because we had used like 1 minute to clean everything around there. So we wanted to come in their back, and then the Skarner face checked all our damage, but they didn't back out. They kept fighting, so they basically just got caught 5-man in my ultimate.
Nice job. So did you guys pretty much have any other thoughts or anything between Crs? This was like your, I guess, kind of like the first or second game that you guys ever played. Were y'all at all worried coming into these matches, or were you guys confident from the first that you would pretty much take this 2-0?
I think the only thing that could prevent us from doing really well in this tournament was the lack of practice. I came into this tournament cold, like team practice wise. The guys played some at Dallas, but that's with a sub. So as a team, we were really out of practice. Most of us kept our like mechanics up in solo queue, so we just relied on the basics. That's like they've been defining CLG.eu for a while. But on the other hand, it gives us like room to experiment, since like we have nothing like practice. We can use the Lee Sin mid, we can use like core key mid, we can use whatever we want. Or I'm even up for picking Jarvan. I don't really care, and it made it fun, like picking champions that are slightly unorthodox for us. So that's like maybe an edge we have on them. We'll surprise Crs, we'll probably surprise ourselves, but I think we can take the Crs current lineup if we stay in top shape, like relatively. Not easy, but relatively secure. So the only thing that could get us was lack of practice.
That's really good to hear. So that's actually another good thing is like it seems like you guys are kind of pioneering some new strategy with a lot of the bruiser mid. A lot of people are kind of copying that in solo queue and stuff. I'm seeing a lot of like Lee Sin and the Jarvan stuff, and then that's the first time I've seen like a roaming Zyra type of action. I wonder if we'll see more of that. It actually worked out really well. I don't know if that was just something that just worked out in that particular situation or whatever. I mean, with Snoopy's bandage toss, it was just like perfect synergy. But what do you guys actually do for your practice? Do you have any like special rituals for your practice, and like certain? Do you go into custom games and practice less hitting at turrets, or do y'all do anything wild like that?
I like to just go in a practice game and just find new ways to last hit the creeps. That's basically what I'm doing, finding new ways to last hit creeps.
Interesting. What about you, as support player? What do you do?
Like in tournaments or just in practice regime itself?
Really, I guess both. Like, what is it that gets you better at the game? What kind of stuff do you try and practice to actually make yourself that much higher than other players?
In tournaments, it's not much. Like my mechanical warm-up exists in like picking support and going in game for 2 minutes, and that's it. Outside is just playing a lot of games. Especially the first weeks now, we're coming out of a cold period. So what we'll be doing is play a lot of games. Don't analyze them. Like analyze them maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, then done. Like move on. People just look at themselves, and then after like a week or two, you can start analyzing replays more and more like in depth. Say like this like nuance and this like small stuff needs to be improved. But general for practice, just play a lot of games, try a lot of stuff. Don't get mad if you lose, and just take one game at a time.
Cool. That's pretty much the question I have about the game. What about let's see, you guys have been at the CLG house here in in Burbank, I guess, for a little bit. How do you guys like staying here in America as opposed to EU? And I guess what's your experience been at the house playing with the North American guys?
The only really big difference would probably be the server we're playing on. Like there was a huge difference from Korean server to NA server that I think it took us by surprise that Korean server is actually really try hard. They're doing their best every single game, actually trying to find a good team comp and everything, even in 1200 elo. And then we come to North America where people are trolling way more. But the food is also a big difference. There's so much fast food here, and in Korea it was more about noodles, seafood, Korean barbecue and stuff.
Okay, what about you? I mean, how are you liking it?
As a practice environment, I prefer Korea. You can scrim 24/7 in Korea. If you want wake up at 9, scrim, bam, you're done. You have it. Food as well, it's all in walking distance. Our area in Burbank is pretty dead. We don't have a car, so we just order fast food. Same with the servers. I mean, I like when I was playing 1400 Elo, I got outplayed once by like a 1400 support, and I was like, wait, what? This is, welcome to Korea. They have this like crazy guys. I learned a lot playing in Korea. I don't think I learned much in NA. So yeah, we'll see how it's back in Europe. I'm looking forward to actually start practicing in Europe again. Just be in touch with the home fan base and like not be traveling a long time. I want some stability, like looking 2 months in the future, knowing I'll be in the house for 2 months, so we can start planning and organizing. But I'm just afraid that the EU will not offer enough practice.
So do you guys think that you know that's interesting? Do you think that that's one of the big problems with, I guess, the North American scene right now in comparison to Asia, is that we just don't have the same type of practice regimen that they do, and it's not as hardcore? And you think we're going to see anything change to help us catch up to that level of place?
It's like there's definitely something wrong with the solo queue in NA right now. Like sometimes you can get a decent game or whatever, but it's like most of the time it's like if one guy dies twice, it's like people will flame him for like whatever reasons, like even if he's getting ganked top or whatever. And like in Korea it's like more about you do what you can, and if you can't do anything, then you like try to find a way to do something, like try to find new ways to improve, so like you know everything that's going on in the game pretty much.
Cool. And what do you think about the current, you know, NA versus Asia scene?
Yeah, well, Asia has like esports embedded in their culture. The culture is like a lot more based on respect as well. While I wouldn't only say like NA, I think it's comparable to EU as well. I just think NA and EU are newer to esports, so there's more teams in Korea. Like there's more top teams, there's more people vying for those top teams, and that all makes like the top Elo environment a lot more professional, a lot more oriented compared to like NA and EU scene, where only like say top 5 teams can get sponsored and can make a living out of gaming.
True.
There's not much room at the top anymore, and that might like throw people off their game and say like, if it's not worth for playing top competitive, why would I try hard, or why would I behave perfectly? So yeah, hopefully it'll improve with season 3 coming up, making gaming a viable career for at least 8 teams in each region.
Definitely super excited about it. So I guess I'm pretty insightful interview, you guys. Thanks for talking. Do you have anything you want to add, or I guess just shout out to sponsors or anything like that?
Yeah, shout out to all the fans and to all the sponsors. Like you're all the guys that make all this happen, and it's really, really awesome. Thanks a lot.
Cool. Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Fans, whenever you are at an event, see us, come talk to us, ask for autographs, photos, whatever, we'll do it. If we're busy, we'll tell you, so don't be afraid for that. Other than that, yeah, CLG helped us to get here. Yeah, XMG, Own3D, all of them like did really, really good for us in the past, and we hope like placing well in tournaments to repay the favor. So thanks.
Great. Thanks guys for watching the interview, and obviously thanks you guys for talking with me. You guys take care. Peace out.